Hello everybody, my name is Rica Jolie. I'm the head of global swine marketing at MSD Animal Health, and it's my pleasure to bring you another couching session. Today we have once again a very special guest. We have Gian Luca Baldo. He comes to us from Life Cycle Engineering. He was the founder of Life Cycle Engineering, and he's also a very well-renowned expert in sustainability. So I promise you that we will have a very interesting conversation today here with Gian Luca. So Gian Luca, welcome.
Thank you.
Before we get started, it may be good to introduce yourself a little bit to our guests here.
Okay, yeah. Good afternoon to everybody. My experience in life cycle engineering started in late 90s. The company is a typical engineering company specialized in the life cycle assessment. My education is engineering with a PhD in life cycle assessment. And usually we support organizations in calculating their impacts, understanding how to improve their situation, and of course how to communicate properly to the market.
Okay, so and what exactly does life cycle engineering do, and how do they help people with improving their sustainability issues or answering their sustainability questions?
Yeah, usually the approach is the same for any sectors. So this is why we are not bored about our job, because we work for the metal industry and the food industry. Because life cycle assessment starts from cradle and then goes to the grave and calculate the impacts along the supply chain and the value chain. Usually we support organizations in calculating and understanding their impacts, because of course environmental impacts are a little bit complicated to be understood. Sustainability is a very wide issue. And then we try to address choices, investment, to make situation better, and of course set goals to improve their situation.
Okay. So maybe I should ask the question, what does sustainability mean for you? Because it is such a broad topic and we hear so much about it.
Of course. For this reason, LCE, Life Cycle Engineering, is made by different specialists. We have skills in economics, in agriculture, in engineering, of course. It is important to build multidisciplinary teams in order when we work with an organization, we try to put all the skills together to shape the choices. So sustainability means to understand impacts from an environmental but also social and economic point of view, and then working with the organization in doing better. Of course, they are the experts. We are just supporter with a methodology, with an approach.
Okay, so it's an interesting transition, because you mentioned sustainability, the importance of environment and social, and for our guests, we're here at the High Quality Pork meeting in Puerto Vallarta, Mexico. And Gian Luca is our guest here, and he will speak to the swine industry about sustainability. And if you talk about an industry that's challenged from an environmental and social aspect, it's very important to us. So how do you believe that you can help our industry with respect to sustainability?
Yeah, first of all, it's important to say that sustainability is at the top of the agenda of most of policies, not only in Europe, but also in other countries. So it means this is not a fashion. It's important to recognize that to stay in the market in the future, it is important to remember that most of the investments are driven by ESG rating now. So environment, social governance, everything that is around the sustainability issue makes an organization and then your industry ready for the future, for future expectations from the market. So the risk is to be forced to do something that you are not prepared to do, or to get surprised by a market that make choices addressed by sustainability. So at the end, any industry, but in particular the meat sector, shall be prepared to face some challenges because, as you know, there are many forces around the meat consumption that are obliging us to do something better and to be prepared for future challenges.
So how do we do this practically? Because, you know, I mean, there's a lot of theoretical and there's a lot of policies, but now, you know, I'm a swine producer and I am faced with this problem. I need to think about sustainability. I need to think about environment.
Yeah.
Where do I start? What is it that I do?
In my opinion, the first step is to calculate the baseline, where we are. And there are some good examples around, like the pork board in the US, the Australian Pork Association. So also in the South America, we have some examples of people that is putting together farms and start reporting, so calculating their impacts from a life cycle perspective, and then addressing step-by-step improvements. So in my opinion, it is important to know where we are in order to start doing better, but with a certified baseline.
Okay. Now, it's also important for us in the animal health industry, and we have worked with you a little bit on a project for our IDAL. IDAL is our needle-free injector. And can you talk a little bit about that project and sort of what some of the observations were?
Yeah, to be honest, this is not my first project around the use of vaccines in the swine industry. It's a very interesting experience because we try to understand how this kind of medicine, let's say, improve the efficiency around the animal production, of course, welfare.
Right.
And this is challenging because if we are able to find the right way to calculate with the right KPIs and then communicating to the market this kind of benefits, then the industry understands the importance of doing such actions.
Right.
Also in the other project we did from 2010, a similar activity was done to appreciate calculate the environmental benefits of a vaccine for the swine industry. So at the end, you are committed to provide something good for the animal welfare, but not only, of course. And at the same time, the benefits can be calculated from an environmental point of view.
Right. And yeah, and for us it was an interesting project to have because we had some learnings on, you know, with respect to the size of the vials, that how much of an impact that can have, reducing the vial size. It impacts the electricity, reduced levels of electricity that are being used. So there was a lot of, you know, different aspects that we learned that are beneficial for our injector, basically, or that come with the injector, beyond just the efficacy of the vaccine, basically.
Exactly. So again, the basic tool is life cycle assessment.
Yeah. Okay.
And the most relevant feature of this kind of tool is that you can do simulations. So you have a model, you build a model of your situation, in this case the IDAL application. You can benchmark and compare it with a traditional state-of-the-art, and then you can simulate different options in terms of course, packaging, but not only, transport, but not only. So in the model, you can simulate and plan a better situation.
Okay. All right. Now, maybe switching a little bit. So the agriculture in general, you know, swine production, you know, also cattle production. It comes a lot with, you know, the negative impact on the planet, the CO2 emissions, methane, all that. But what about how does it compare towards like the alternative protein production?
Yeah, this is a very important question, and we need to be honest. Now, in many countries, in Europe first, there are policies that are putting at the center healthy and sustainable food from a sustainable planet. If alternative proteins are going to demonstrate that their carbon footprinting, but not only, of course, the environmental footprinting, is better than meat, then we have to be careful, because I don't think there will be a revolution, but there will be a transition in something that you can play a role in this transition if you put sustainability at the core of your investments. This is my personal opinion, of course, but for instance, the farm to fork policy in Europe is going in that direction.
Okay, all right. So we'll have to watch and see there. And as we're wrapping up our conversation here, you know, for our producers are being asked to do a lot of things, but in the end, for them, what's important is the economic sustainability.
Yeah.
So what are your thoughts around that with all these discussions about sustainability? Is this economically feasible for our producers?
I think so. Of course, I agree with you. Social and economic aspects are at the core of the investment for also the environmental issue, to improve the environmental situation. So without economic and social aspects, we can't do environmental improvements. Right. So this is relevant. I repeat, sustainability is not only environment. So we must be able to appreciate the three aspects of sustainability, calculate KPIs. There are KPIs for not only for the climate, but also for the social, and then communicating in the right way to the market. There are specific tools, business to business or business to consumer, to communicate sustainability issues. So it's important to be prepared and educated. So education plays still an important role in this industry.
Yeah, because in the end, if our producers are not economically viable, if their farms are not economically viable, they are not going to follow that path of sustainability.
Of course.
Any closing remarks from your end?
Yeah, I would also say that we must also say to people, don't waste food, and we are the first player to teach people not to waste food. So it's important. From what I remember, 1/3 of the food produced in the US is wasted. So this is not sustainable. Yeah. So I want to close this very nice conversation with you, telling that at the end, talking about sustainability is talking about efficiency. Okay. So if we are efficient, then we are sustainable.
Okay. I think it's a very good message, because sometimes we forget, even at home, that we are not always paying attention on how much food is being wasted.
Exactly.
So that's a very good message to end this couching session. And I must say I miss our couch, because the last couching session I was sitting on a couch and it was pink, and I hope that the next time we can bring back the couch in our environment. But for now, we'd like to say thank you for listening to us, and till the next couching session. Thank you.